You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse live on Lax TV, changing the way you follow lacrosse.
Hello everybody, Dan Matthews here. We're in St. Louis, Missouri, not far from the banks of the mighty Mississippi River for this St. Patrick's Day tilt between St. Thomas and Missouri Baptist University. St. Thomas coming off a huge win last night against Davenport. Missouri Baptist 1-0 here in the St. Louis Invitational, a 13-3 victory over Northern Colorado. And Todd, when you look at this matchup, you look like it could be lopsided. Is that really the case?
No, I don't think so at all, Dan. I think Missouri Baptist is a good, solid team. They'll score some goals. Their defense and their goalie will keep them in the game. And this one could be a lot closer than I think people might imagine.
Today's game will be brought to you in part by Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft, as well as by Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Todd, let's take a minute. We're here in the Lax Lessons pregame show to talk about the visiting St. Thomas Tommies today. And last night, a huge performance from number 4, Peter Carbonell.
Yeah, Peter had 4 goals coming into the game and left with four new ones after last night. He took some really kind of skiddy angle shots that were hard enough and accurate enough to get past the Davenport goalie, and Peter came up big when he had to, including the scoring the game winner in overtime.
We had a chance to speak with 11-year head coach Pete Moosberger about today's matchup. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
Coach, you're facing a Missouri Baptist team today that you guys are both pretty early on in your season.
Yep.
What are you looking for out of MoBap?
Well, they're a talented team, and they're new on the stage. They've got some very good talent. They got a good goalie.
You still don't know how to do it?
So it'll be an interesting game. We haven't played them before. I respect Coach Jolly a lot. I see him at a lot of the board meetings, and we hang out a lot. He's a great coach, a great guy. I also heard he had a new kid, so congratulations to him. But it'll be a fun game, and it's going to be a new challenge. It's always fun to play teams for the first time and then see what they bring to the table. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to see him play, so I'm going to have to figure that out tonight.
That's Coach Pete Moosberger for the visiting St. Thomas Tommies. Ranked number 2 coming in with their victory yesterday. Should they win out here in St. Louis, you'd have to imagine they'll ascend the polls and be your new number 1 and dethrone Davenport, thus having that target replaced on their back.
Yeah, coming into yesterday, they were sort of happy to have somebody else at the top that everybody was gunning for, and it didn't take very long for them to be right back up there.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about the home team, number 16 ranked Missouri Baptist University's Spartans.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. St. Louis folks, we're on the campus of CBC High School, W. Michael Ross Stadium. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. This is the Lax Lessons pregame show.
Let's flip the other side of the field here now, Todd. And Brandon Horschig from Missouri Baptist came up huge against Northern Colorado.
Yeah, the Bears didn't have much of an answer for Brandon, and he's not subtle. There's not. It's not like he's dipping and dodging, but he likes to drive the cage, and he's got that big hard shot. And the Northern Colorado goalie not able to stop 4 of those on Thursday. So Brandon's a big strong kid, and he'll try and get the NBU squad out front with some good early scoring.
Todd, on the other side of the field, Blake Barnett, a graduate student who had an extra year of eligibility after leaving St. Leo University, really the heart and soul and the anchor of the defensive side of the ball for the Spartans.
Yeah, Andy Jolly actually recruited Blake as an assistant coach, and when they found out he had a year of eligibility left, said, why not? Let's throw him in the pipes. Good goalkeeper. He's good inside the goal and outside the goal. He makes good decisions on the clears, doesn't try and force the passes upfield, and good ball control and possession and good special teams is going to be key to Missouri Baptist's success today.
Todd, when you look at this matchup, we talked a little bit at the top of the show. We see a team in the Tommies who've already made a name for themselves at the MCLA Division II level. You look at Missouri Baptist; they're the team out there fighting to make a name for themselves. What role will that play in today's contest?
Yeah, it's the MBU has got something to prove, and this is they're looking at this weekend as a chance to kind of step up to that next level. And Coach Andy Jolly would love nothing more than to knock off the Tommies here and prove to everybody that they belong.
Tommies fans travel in mass, folks. It looks like they're all down here for this weekend's contests, and it's good to see and love to have the crowd. Today's crowd, a good crowd here at W. Michael Ross Stadium on the campus of Christian Brothers College High School. I'm Dan Matthews. He's Todd Walker. When we come back, we'll have the opening face-off of this tilt between number 2 and number 16.
The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303 Outlaws or log on to milehighLaxClassic.com.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Dan Matthews and Todd Walker back with you here at CBC Field at W. Michael Ross Stadium. And let's take a quick look at the starting lineups for the St. Thomas Tommies.
Starting attack, Peter Carbonneau, the 4-goal scorer from last night, David Burke and Nick Altman. The starting midfielders will be Joe Palermo, David Chopala, and Peter Schubloom. At defense, Sam Posel, long stick midi, Kevin Gauss, Ben Vasco, and Jesse Amar. And in the goal, Ryan Zeilinger.
And for the home team, Missouri Baptist Spartans, their starting lineup looks a little bit like this.
At attack, David Justfit, Ryan Zimmer, and Brad Keel. Midfield, Nick Fensom, Brandon Horschig, and Ian Brosh, the face-off man. On defense, Brett Johnson, Clayton Molenbeek, Ryan Albright, and Alex Pelosi. And in the goal, Blake Barnett.
Should be a solid contest here today in St. Louis, Missouri, folks. The weather looks like it's going to hold off, at least for this opening contest. We'll play the rest of them by ear. As you know, we had a 17-hour lightning delay in the first contest that Missouri Baptist played in. We'll hope to not duplicate that feat here today. The goalies shake hands and take their respective nets. And it looks like we're going to have a different goalie between the pipes for St. Thomas today. That goalie is number 10, Stephen Bang. Bang, a junior at 5'5", 155 pounds for the Tommies.
Yeah, I was watching him warm up a little bit, Dan. He's got good quick hands, good step to the ball.
Baptist wins the opening faceoff. That's David Justvig. Justvig, the heart and soul of the scoring for Missouri Baptist. Horschig, goal scorer from the game 2 days ago that concluded yesterday. Missouri Baptist settles into their offense. Got a ball down on the turf. MBU chases it down. That's Ian Broche. He gives it to Horschig. MBU will reset. That's Justvig. Goal line extended far side. He kicks it up top to Nick Fensom. Fensom, left-hand cradle. Dodge down the left alley. Shot sails wide. Backed up by MBU. That's Zimmer behind the cage. He's working on Jesse Amar.
Hey, folks, remember to follow us on Twitter and feel free to tweet us during the game. We're at LaxTV is our handle, at LAXXTV. I'm monitoring the tweets, and if you can help us out with any pronunciations that we may be butchering on names or anything else, give us a tweet. We'll try and respond during the game.
Nice attempt at the roll dodge by Broche. He's pushed out by his defender. That defender was Lucius. There's a shot, bounces over the cage. Long possession here early on for Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job controlling the ball here, Dan, and we've got a flag down. They're also going to be extra man here, so we'll see if Mobap can get on the board first.
Todd, I know we have at least one viewer he's not viewing, but he's listening right down below us on his iPhone. Folks, take your iPhones with us and make sure that you're following us in all the MCLA or D1 action that we're covering here on Lax TV.
And once again, the Spartans are starting off in a circle, and they'll cut out of this into something resembling a 1-4-1 and start looking for a feed.
Zimmer, far side, feeds it down low to Justvig. Justvig doesn't have the dodge. Zimmer gets it up top to Fensom. Pass down low and inside for Justvig. Bounces off the top of his stick, but he picks it up. Missouri Baptist keeps to hang on to the ball. It was a nice bounce shot on the near side by Brad Keel. Backed up by Missouri Baptist. They'll hang on to the possession. Minutes gone by in the first period here in St. Louis, Missouri. Pass just sails away from Horschig, out of bounds. Ball to St. Thomas.
Yeah, those are the kind of mistakes that Coach Andy Jolly really doesn't want to see. Unforced error, just giving the ball away on a bad pass.
St. Thomas will start it up. Will Hersman tends to start the clears for the Tommies. Will's got some wheels. Tommy's on the clear. That's Jesse Amar on the far side, aiding that successful clear. Tommy's loaded with weapons. That was last night's hero, Carbonneau. who kicks the ball to Schlipala. There's a shot. That one deflected wide. That's Carbonneau. Carbonneau not quite with the angle on that shot. Goes out of bounds. It's backed up by David Burke.
Yeah, this is a very different offense than we were seeing last night, Dan. The Tommies last night were very deliberate, very measured in their attacks of the goal. They've already taken 2 quick shots.
This time around, they throw the ball away. Justvik tries to do it all by himself and has the ball plucked from his stick by the Tommies. Going the other direction is David Schlipala. Up to Hersman. Hersman shot sails wide. Tommies back it up and will maintain possession.
Yeah, they've taken 3 shots already, Dan. I think it was about a quarter and a half before the Tommies had taken 3 shots last night. So very different approach to today's game.
I think the Tommies will look to run and gun. A little bit of gamesmanship by Coach Andy Jolly. There's a shot and a goal. That one by Hersman, picking up his 3rd of the year.
Yeah, again, St. Thomas philosophy today is considerably different. They're obviously gonna push it against the Spartans and see if they can get up on top of them early. Just a real nice one-on-one speed dodge by Hersman. Gets into the middle and puts a good hard shot past Barnett.
As I was saying, just before that goal was scored, a little bit of gamesmanship by Missouri Baptist head coach Andy Jolly, who created this invitational, giving St. Thomas the last game yesterday, making them play early this morning, hoping to have that play some advantage for his squad. There's another shot and a goal by the Tommies. Joe Palermo getting on the board.
Yeah, and on the flip side, that's just exactly what Coach Pete Moosberger is looking for. The quick goals off the face-off. Yeah.
So 2-0. The second-ranked St. Thomas Tommies with the lead and the possession. That's Palermo. Tommy's looking to run. There's a shot from the side. That one sails behind the cage. That was Carbonneau.
Yeah, before last night, Dan, I just said that wasn't a great shot by Carbonneau, but he put 3 of those in last night with probably less angle than he had there. So I'm not going to second guess Peter on his shot selection.
No, not at all. There's a shot that's saved by Barnett. The shot is taken by Palermo. Stay tuned at the end of today's game, folks, for our Bam Shaft player of the game. Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft. And at halftime, we'll have the Inside Lacrosse halftime show. Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. The Missouri Baptist pass is picked off. Tommy's running with numbers. That's Schublum. Schublum shoots, sails wide to the far side. That's backed up by Nick Altman.
That was a great shot by Schublum. He pulled it down to that opposite low corner and just missed that corner by about 3 inches.
Todd, you mentioned to me before we started the game tonight, you were on the field after the game, and albeit he never scored and didn't generate much offense, Nick Altman was still the recipient of a game ball.
Yeah, the coaching staff really felt that he did a great job, occupying his defensemen and keeping him off slides to some of the other players, and that's a big part of the game, folks. Everybody on the field's participating, even if they're not scoring goals.
That last shot was Schublum to Palermo, and Palermo's shot saved by Blake Barnett. Here come the Spartans. Spartans looking to get on the board, cut the deficit in half. Up top is Horschig. Horschig likes this dodge from the top.
Yeah, they basically clear out that right side and green light him. Tommy's kind of dropped their wing defenseman in on him a little bit, though. May have made him have second thoughts about trying it today.
Right now, Missouri Baptist looks a little bit rattled, and they're going to get the media timeout. We've got 8 minutes and 11 seconds to go here in the first quarter of play. It's St. Thomas 2, Missouri Baptist nothing.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Welcome back to St. Louis. St. Thomas with a 2-0 lead right now over Missouri Baptist. And Andy Jolly in that huddle over there trying to settle his team down, Todd. What can you do to help out Missouri Baptist?
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he's trying to do. He's telling his guys just to settle down, calm down, take your time. You want to play fast, taking your time is the way the coaches phrase it, and they're okay. They're just making some little loose passes and trying to force things maybe a little too much. So he's just trying to get them to calm down and play their game.
Hersman on the clear. Feeds it near side. Back up top. Hersman alone. He shoots. That one deflected wide by goaltender Blake Barnett. Again, Barnett, the graduate student recruited as a head coach, and really takes on, or not a head coach, but an assistant coach, really takes on a solid role like that on the field as he leads that defense. Yeah, we do have some laundry on the field. There's going to be a St. Thomas penalty with the ball down.
Yeah, we've got a push with possession over here on that loose ball on the just on the defensive side of midfield. So once again, Spartans will be man up for 30 seconds.
2-0 our score. We're midway through the first period of play here at W. Michael Ross Stadium. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Folks, I believe you'll notice a button to pop on the top right-hand corner of your screen that says donate. And we would love any donations that you can contribute to helping us keep these broadcasts on the air. Sponsorships tend to be a little bit slim sometimes, and we want to continue to bring you lacrosse. So anything that you're willing to contribute to help will continue to facilitate broadcast of lacrosse from all levels. Todd.
Yeah, we're primarily doing primarily MCLA games, but we've had several NCAA Division I games, and we hope to keep bringing that kind of variety to our viewers.
There's another shot and a goal by Will Hersman, his second of the game, and it's 3-0 St. Thomas.
Yeah, we had a flag down before the play, Dan. It looked like an offside or an illegal sub by Missouri Baptist, that penalty will be waved off by the goal.
So our score here, 3-0, favor of the Tommies.
And again, Hersman just nice simple drive across the top. He was out about 12, 13 yards. Good hard shot. They MBU needs to do a better job of getting on his hands.
Good defense by the Tommies. Disabling penetration from Justvig on that far GLE. That's Broche with the ball up top. Left-hand cradle, pass to the near side to Fensom. Broche and Fensom content to play a little bit of catch up top. Here goes Broche. Good slides by the St. Thomas defense. Disabling the dodge from Broche. Fensom gives it to Zimmer. Zimmer's going to circle the ball behind the cage. Give it up near side to Keel.
Early on here, Dan, it looks like the Spartans are trying to ISO a midi by taking them way up top, and the Tommies are having none of it. They're sliding early from the crease and shutting that guy off. So I think Coach Andy Jolly's going to call a timeout, and they may reassess that philosophy.
St. Thomas definitively fundamentally sound on defense so far here today. 3-0 our score, 5:20 to go in the first quarter. We'll be back right after this.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Back in St. Louis and on the restart, Fensom has the ball up top. Again, trying to ISO the midi up top. And a shot and a score by Fensom. Great shot. That one at 9 minutes and 59 seconds of the first quarter, and the Spartans are on the board.
Yeah, Fensom with, again, nothing fancy, just the ISO dodge down the right alley. This is a shot where the coach is going, no, great shot. He really left it a little late, but squeezed it right in over the goalie's left shoulder. You can see just absolutely no angle, but managed to sneak it right in next to the pipe, and that one counts.
So we're going to head to the X, where we're going to have Dan Ziegler
for St. Thomas. Looks like that, is that Horshig at the X?
I think it's Broche again, Dan.
It is, it's Broche. Ball still loose on the faceoff. Good fight for it. Nobody coming out with it now. That's Jesse Amar who gets it as it scoots into the box. Amar comes out, runs the break. He's got Carbonneau. Rebound. Nice save by Barnett on the rebound, but the shot ends up into the back of the net. That looked like number 22, Nicholas Colpitz. And the Tommies reclaim a 3-goal lead.
Yeah, here's a goal, Dan, where you probably think the Tommies, you want your guys to make that extra pass, but they maybe made one too many extra passes, but kind of got away with it. Got a shot on the goal that Barnett saved, and the rebound came out, and Colpitz buried it.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing we need to teach our young players today is sticking with the ball and not giving up on it just because you see the goalie stick go up and catch the ball. It doesn't always stay there.
Yeah, coaching the younger guys, the tendency is to just kind of let the play go once they take that first shot. But the play is anything but over until the ball's going the other way.
Solid defense there by Opsahl, creating the MBU turnover. Tommies will take over on offense, leading by 3 here in the first. Ryan Beeson is going to get the restart for St. Thomas. Beeson clears midfield. Left-hand cradle, switches to the right. Gives it up to Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald really the hero of the semifinal game in last year's MCLA championships. Hasn't seen quite as much playing time this year. But when he's in, look for him to contribute. Nick Altman has helped to reduce Fitzgerald's playing time. There's a shot. Nice save by Barnett. That one's going to kick up over the cage. Remains St. Thomas ball. Carbonneau on the backup. Ball down low in the near corner. That's Colpitz circling around the top. Save made by Barnett. We've got Laundry on the field.
The rarely called cross-check, Dan. The defender got a little bit over aggressive on that drive around the cage and on the feed. Laid a pretty good cross-check.
Tommy's taking the fight to the Missouri Baptist Spartans here in the first quarter. Head coach Andy Jolly for Missouri Baptist is definitely going to have to make some alterations heading into the second. St. Thomas working the ball.
And again, though, similar to last night, starting a 3-3 and cut into a 1-4.
There's your cutter. That was Schublum. Schublum didn't have the shot. Far side, shot taken by Cleveland. Cleveland, a freshman midfielder from Egan High School. Feet up top again, that's Egan. Excuse me, to Palermo. Palermo shot sails wide. St. Thomas resets the offense. Palermo up top. Pass off the stick of Cleveland. Back up top to Palermo.
And the penalty's released, so we're even up.
What a great ground ball shot that was. Off the stick of Joe Palermo. And it's 5-1, St. Thomas.
And that's not uncommon there, Dan. It's for the penalty to be released, and you've got your 6-man coming in, and a shot right there as he puts in his arrival in the defensive box to get the goal off that extra man. Real nice low-to-low shot by Palermo, though. He got a lot on that ball, and Barnett just wasn't able to get down to handle it.
I think that low-to-low is one of the tougher shots to master.
Yeah, it's certainly hard to shoot it accurately. You can get a lot on the ball, but to get it to go where you're going takes a lot of practice.
Lots of players hitting the field today for St. Thomas that we didn't necessarily see last night with that quick turnaround. Look for the Tommies to really empty their bench in this one.
Yeah, we've already seen about a half dozen more players today than we saw in last night's game against Davenport. So you can't blame Coach Moosberger for giving his guys a little bit of a blow here.
Great adjustment by Coach to get everybody in and utilize the talent that he's got on that deep roster. Shooting a score by John Michael Kuhn, freshman from Totino Grace, just 5'8", 170 pounds.
Yeah, Coach Moosberger mentioned to us the other day he had a lot of good, solid freshmen, and we're seeing him here. We're seeing him here in this first quarter, and I suspect for most of the rest of the game. But as he said, a talented group.
Todd, what's it going to take to distribute or balance, shift the balance of power in the MCLA, both Division I and Division II?
The short answer is time. You've got to get time and consistency. A lot of the MCLA programs tend to not have the same coach over a length of time. And the teams that we see have success have that, and that I think that's the biggest key to success in the MCLA is consistency in the coaching ranks. And if you've got that, you kind of get your recruiting pipelines locked in, and it becomes a lot easier to get players and get good players, and restock every year as you graduate kids.
There was a shot from Zimmer coming around the cage on the near side. Ball stays with Missouri Baptist. That's a low-to-low sidearm shot. It ends up sailing wide. Looks like we had a hold on the play to shift possession over to St. Thomas.
Yeah, there's interference on the crease. One of the MBU crease men was kind of shoving the defender while they had possession.
St. Thomas on the clear. They lead 6-1 with 20 seconds to go here in the first quarter in St. Louis. Feed up top. Shot sails high, out of bounds. St. Thomas ball. That was Cleveland from the far side on that shot. This is Colpitts to Carbonneau.
Good save.
Great save by Barnett. And as Fitzgerald heads into the crease toward the crease for the shot, he gets knocked on his tail end.
Yeah.
We've got a penalty on Missouri Baptist.
Yeah, might be an unnecessary roughness, illegal body check. Again, sort of a late application of force off that shot by the Mobap D.
4 seconds to go in the first. Missouri Baptist down 5 to St. Thomas. So far, that quick turnaround not really affecting St. Thomas because of the depth of that roster.
No, they're looking just fine so far this morning.
Period's going to expire on the restart. 6-1 our score at the end of one. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network. CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
Welcome back to St. Louis. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker. You're watching MCLA Division II lacrosse right here on Lax TV, changing the way you follow the game. Todd, we ended the period with a penalty. And with that penalty, St. Thomas has the ball without a face-off to start the second.
Right. The rule reads either team with possession, doesn't matter if you're the team that's man down or the team that's man up. If the quarter ends with possession in your stick, you get the ball with no face-off.
Tommy's working the ball around. Carbonneau behind the cage, gives it up. Nice save by Barnett on the shot, and I believe that shot came from Nick Altman. Nope, that's number 9, David Schlipala, over on the far side.
Yeah, that was a nice piece of work by Barnett. He could have just stayed back and on his goal line and waited for that shot, and he got proactive and came out and made a nice save on the shot.
Cleveland will restart for St. Thomas. Tommy's working the ball around. Far side to Burke. Cleveland behind the cage, near side. Up top, errant pass from Carbonneau. That one was intended for Klipala.
Yeah, that was kind of a silly attempt by Peter Carbonneau. He couldn't go over the top of the goal because Barnett would have picked it off. So he tried to put a blazer past the pipe from behind and really didn't have the angle to make the pass.
St. Thomas with a 5-goal lead, a minute into the second period of play. Barnett will start the clear for Missouri Baptist.
And Dan, our officials for today's game, almost the same crew we had last night, but referee Wally Schaefer, umpire Peter Lund, and our field judge Brad Sherman. And there's a nice goal.
Nice shot and a goal by Ryan Zimmer. The near side. And it's 6-2.
It was a nice sequence there for MBU. They real nice clear down up the sideline, and Zimmer just again unmolested took the ball into the cage and scored the goal. Nobody stops you. You keep going. That was an interesting decision to switch to his left hand to take that shot, since that was actually decreasing his angle. You'd rather see him have the stick in his right hand and help himself out a little bit. And that should be a trip, but did not get called.
And we'll head the other way. That's Joel Freiby. St. Thomas with possession and a 4-goal lead. Tommy's working the ball around the cage. Far side shot sails high and wide. Backed up by the Tommies. That shot was from Carbonneau.
Tommy's will be content to take some of the air out of the ball, work it around, find just the right shot. Feed inside. That's Burke. Back up top. Cleveland. Cleveland shot saved by Barnett. MBU can get themselves back into this one in the first half if they have a successful possession. And unfortunately, throw the ball away. It'll turn back over to St. Thomas.
And those are the kind of things, Dan, that Missouri Baptist needs to clean up. They, you really have to value possession of the ball, and the unforced turnovers will cause Coach Jolly to pull the hair out of his beard.
David Burke working to set the offense. That's Palermo up top. Near side for Lucius. Lucius maybe with the prettiest goal of the night last night. Here comes a nice spin dodge. He gets inside. A good shot. Better save by Burke. I think Lucius just ran out of room on that near side. Couldn't shift the ball to his left hand in time to make the shot.
Yeah, geometry was not on his side. He did a nice job to get into the crease, but really at that point should have been looking for the pass. He had absolutely no angle.
Ball came out of bounds on the near side. Off of Missouri Baptist. Lucius will reset the offense for the Tommies. Good job working the ball around. Dodge on the left side. Great catch by Burke. Coming around on the high pass. An extra pass and the ball's down. Picked up by Mobap. There's laundry on the field.
And an unnecessary roughness call, Dan. I did not see that. I think it was off that pass from across the middle from Carbonneau. And again, I think we had a little extracurricular activity after the pass was gone. Maybe an unwarranted check post play.
St. Thomas will get a chance to reset the offense. That's Cleveland near side on the wing. All the way up top, shoot to score. Palermo. That's a hat trick for Palermo here in the second quarter.
Yeah, real nice job working the ball around. Good patience by the Tommies on that extra man, and good feed for kind of what you're looking for once you get in your EMO to get that feed from the X behind the goal to your point man up top, and Palermo with a good hard shot.
Missouri Baptist with the ball, throwing it away again. That's 2 of their last 3 possessions that they've thrown the ball away.
Yeah, those are just killer. And Coach Andy Jolly's looking a little frustrated over on the sideline. He's really trying to settle his guys down and just get them to handle the ball and play lacrosse.
Hersman will restart for the Tommies. He'll pass it backwards and let the Tommies be patient with that clear. Junior goaltender Stephen Bang has not faced many shots so far today.
No, they haven't exactly tested him yet. Although, again, I was watching him in warm-ups, and he moves very well. So I think he's I think he's probably a pretty serviceable goalie.
There's a shot. That one sails wide. Backed up. There's a shot and a goal. That's Kyle Warden, it looks like. Or is that Joel Freiby?
I think it was actually Altman on the.
Was it Altman?
I think that was Altman on the catch and score. Yeah.
My eyes deceive me.
from Burke. Nice feed, nice catch. That's again something we saw last night from the Tommies. These guys have good sticks. There's Burke with a backup, Altman with the catch, and just puts it right under the top bar.
Well, if pattern holds true, we're going to see one more from St. Thomas before we see one from Missouri Baptist. Missouri Baptist is tending to end the St. Thomas runs at 3. Near side to Kuhn. Kuhn left-hand cradle, makes the dodge. He's got his hands free. No shot, makes the pass across the field. That shot deflected. Up top, Kuhn picks it up.
Wow.
Tries to penetrate. Great defense by Missouri Baptist, but we've got a flag down on the field. I think we're going to see a MBU penalty here.
Yeah. The hold is an interesting call. What happened there, Dan, is Ian Broche actually took that initial shot off his body and was not overly pleased about being shot in the torso, and really kind of cross-checked the Tommies player in the head and got off lightly with a hold.
Broche in the penalty box looking like a hurting unit right now. You know, that ball or that stick always seems to hit where there is no padding.
Lacrosse ball is solid rubber for any of our viewers that haven't seen one before or don't know what it's made out of. And folks, when that ball's moving about 80 miles an hour, it hurts.
Patient offense on the man up. There's a shot from the near side and a goal. That's Carbonneau. He likes that low angle shot.
Yeah, there's what we're coming to know as a Peter Carbonneau special. Not a lot of space on that wing, but he's extremely accurate with his shot and is able to put it just inside the pipe.
That makes it 9-2 Tommies with 8:38 to go here in the first half. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse right here on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network. CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL.
That's a Rainbow ball.
And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
Back in St. Louis, everybody. Dan Matthews, Todd Walker, the St. Thomas Tommies, and the Missouri Baptist Spartans. Tommies with a 9-2 lead, just under halfway through the second quarter of play. And possession. No possession, face-off. There's a procedure on Missouri Baptist. That was Broche.
I think he's still not up to scratch after that last little flurry.
9-2 our score. St. Thomas with the lead. That was Duckstad on the near side. A lot of freshmen on this St. Thomas squad, replacing a pretty decent senior class that left last year. Shot bounces high over the cage. Tommy possession. Colpitts on the restart for the Tommies. Up top to Duckstad. Near side for Palermo. Palermo with the hat trick already today. Pass up top to Duckstad. Over to Cleveland. There's a shot and a save by Barnett. So a goal on this possession for Missouri Baptist would maintain our patterns. But Missouri Baptist unable to clear successfully. It's picked up by Cleveland and moved into the offensive zone for St. Thomas.
Tommy's really doing a great job riding the Missouri Baptist clear and not giving them any room at all up at midfield.
Duckstad to Colpitts. Colpitts to Altman behind the cage. Altman's pass for Beeson is dropped, but Beeson chases it down. Beeson on the far side. Tommy's looking for double digits in scoring. We have a crease violation on the Tommies. Missouri Baptist heading the other way. That's Matt Corbett. Corbett with the feed. Giving it to Zimmer. Zimmer circles it behind the cage for Keel. Missouri Baptist again throwing the ball away. That one's backed up by Broche. Broche, a quick recovery from being hit in the gut with that ball. Zimmer left-hand cradle down into the corner. He'll circle behind the cage. Spin dodge to try to get out front, unable to do so. Gives it to Justvig, whose shot sails wide to the far side.
Yeah, that's one Justvig would like back, Dan. He got that pass about 8 yards off the goal, and nobody on his hands.
Hoping to have that play some advantage for his squad. There's another shot and a goal by the. There's another shot and a goal by Will Hersman. There's another shot and a goal by Will Hersman. His second.
That's Fensom. Fensom comes near side. His shot sails high. Scooped up by St. Thomas. That's Jesse Amar.
Up top again, trying to
head the other direction. Coming this way is Mackey. He gives it up to Altman. Altman circles the cage.
So the
ball out of bounds to Missouri Baptist.
And on that last Mobat possession, Dan, it was Zimmer
up top again, trying to ice
his teammate shot. He was on the far side of the goal and took that one right in the gut.
There's another shot and a goal by Will Hersman.
That's Barnett, the goaltender.
Up again, trying to ISO the midi up top.
That's Zimmer.
And a shot and a score by Fensom. Great shot.
Correction, that was Austin Floyd, number 26, rather than 28.
Yeah, I think Zimmer's taking a
breather.
Up top, again trying to ISO the midi up top.
So Floyd has it.
And a shot and a score. He's got Carbonneau.
Kicks it up top to Brooks.
Rebound. Nice save by Barnett on the rebound, but shot ends up into the back of the net.
Score. Just over 4 minutes to go here in the second quarter. Horschig, the star from the other day.
Rebound. Nice save by Barnett on the rebound, but shot ends up into the back.
St. Thomas picks it up.
And the penalty's released, so we're even up. What a great ground ball shot that was.
Right in his back pocket, and as soon as the ball hit his stick, it was he was getting checked. So, not a
ground ball shot that was.
In the middle, if he's not
get everybody in and utilize the talent that he's got on that deep roster, shooting a score by John Michael Kuhn.
Friday's freshman for St. Thomas out of Prior Lake High School. Feed across for Carbonneau. No, that was Fitzgerald coming off the bench.
Get everybody in and utilize the talent that he's got on that deep roster, shooting a score by John Michael Kuhn. Hoping to have that play some advantage for his squad. There's another
Fitzgerald near side.
Get everybody in and
top.
Utilize the talent that he's got on that deep roster.
Late in the second quarter. Got an offsides call on the Toffees.
Umpire Peter Lund and our field judge Brad Sherman. There's a nice goal.
You had Jesse Hamar just kind of lost track of where he was. He just kind of wandered across the 50-yard line, and the referee looked over and said, gee, he's offsides, and there's the turnover.
So there's a timeout on the field with 2:26 to play here in the second quarter. 9-2 your score. Tommy's on top.
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse. It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
We're back in St. Louis, 9-2. St. Thomas's Tommies on top of the Missouri Baptist Spartans here late in the first half of play. Todd, a game that's really been controlled by St. Thomas from the get-go.
Yeah, no real concern for the Tommies here up to this point, Dan. Coach Moosberger is able to get some very valuable playing time for some of his talented freshman group, but to this point, it's been all St. Thomas.
Tommies break the huddle. Today's game is presented in part by In Lax We Trust. Listen to the best NCAA Division III lacrosse action on the Lacrosse Radio Network, the home of live lacrosse audio. You can find it at inlaxwetrust.com. Lax Lessons, play of the game at the conclusion of today's game, will be brought to you by Lax Lessons, your source for the ultimate playbook. MBU on the restart. Again, they still have an opportunity to keep the scoring trends on point. Trailing 9-2 with 2:20 left to go in the first half.
Pass up top, sails away from everybody. It'll be picked up by the Spartans. Will attempt the clear all over again. Successful clear. That was Fensom on the far side. You're going to call him out of bounds. Andy Jolly on the far side imploring the referee to stay off of that one.
I think Andy thought his player was pushed out of bounds. From behind. He may have had an argument there.
Andy Jolly, the creator of this invitational here in St. Louis. He's really done a great job with the teams, the fields, etc. You can't control the action on the field. If you could do that, I think every game would be like last night's game. A little bit later, we're going to have North Dakota State. I understand they had a great game yesterday over at St. Louis Soccer Park against Northern Colorado. Northern Colorado seemed to find themselves, jumped out to a quick 5-1 lead there. North Dakota State working themselves back into the game and coming out with a 15-11 victory were the Bison. Bison traveling to this tournament without head coach Zach Bosch. The trials and tribulations of the MCLA catching up to him as he has a full-time job as well.
Yeah, those pesky full-time jobs tend to get in the way of coaching duties and sometimes playing duties in the MCLA.
Fitzgerald on the cut, had the shot, couldn't get it off as it was deflected by the Missouri Baptist defense. We'll head the other direction. 43 seconds to go here in the second quarter. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. Make sure you stay tuned for the Inside Lacrosse halftime show. We've got a timeout on the field. The score, 9-2 St. Thomas. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitter, folks. Interact with Todd here in the booth. At Lax TV is the handle. That's @Lax, LAXX TV. We'll be back for the conclusion of the first half right after this.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores! Fires, score! What a beautiful pass! Charges in, scores!
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Simon Fraser Lacrosse, one of the first schools we got to cover here on Lax TV up in Portland just a few short weeks ago. Nice program they've got up at Simon Fraser. We've got a 9-2 game here with 13 seconds to go in the first half. MBU looking to clear. They're going to pull it back. And as they do, the half is going to expire here on Missouri Baptist in St. Thomas. Your score, 9-2 in favor of the Tommies. We'll be back for the Inside Lacrosse halftime show right after these words.
Hi, I'm Andy Jolly, head coach at Missouri Baptist University, and you're watching Lax TV. Bison Lacrosse is about hard work.
Bison Lax is about dedication.
Bison Lacrosse, it's about sacrifice.
Bison Lax is all about teamwork.
Bison Lacrosse is passion.
It's all about the herds. Go Bison.
Hi, I'm Dave Wakefield, head coach of Northern Colorado, and you're watching Lax TV.
Experience the energy of college lacrosse at the Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. A championship-ready lineup that showcases the intensity of the nation's fastest-growing sport. For tickets and schedule, call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to MileHighLaxClassic.com. The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic, elevating lacrosse. The Whitman Sampler Mile High Classic is elevating lacrosse when the nation's elite play in prime time at Sports Authority Field on Friday, April 27th. Virginia versus Penn, Duke versus Denver. Call 303-OUTLAWS or log on to MileHighLaxClassic.com.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy. Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky.
Welcome back to St. Louis. St. Thomas kind of all over Missouri Baptist here in the first half. Todd, this is not the game I expected out of Missouri Baptist.
No, really a little bit surprised at how tight they're playing. Awful lot of unforced turnovers, which I'm sure driving Coach Andy Jolly crazy. St. Thomas is good enough on their own. You don't need to be helping them out. And in that first half, MBU did a pretty good job at helping them out.
And Coach Pete Moosbrugger doing an outstanding job thus far today, really utilizing his deep bench to keep his team well rested.
Yeah, he mentioned that he had some talented freshmen, and so far I've been very impressed. These kids that he's run out there handle the ball very well. They're moving to the right spots and doing the right things. And I think Coach Moosbrugger's got to be pretty happy about the future going forward. Not only with this team this season, but next year as well.
And the St. Thomas team has really had to adjust on the fly. They lost a player who led the team last year in all three scoring categories. And when you lose a player like Joe Costello, who also brought in some NCAA Division I experience, having played at UMBC, you really have to make a lot of adjustments.
Yeah, and maybe the biggest loss there was his leadership. I mean, you got a kid that's played Division I and knows what it's like in the big leagues, and I think that was a huge advantage to St. Thomas in terms of having a guy like that teach the younger players how to be a lacrosse player, how to be a college athlete, and they miss his presence as far as scoring goes. But I think his legacy is going to live on for a lot of years.
Not a doubt about it. Let's take a listen to what Coach Pete Moosberger had to say about making this adjustment without Costello. Coach, it's inevitable you're going to be asked this question. What's life like without Joe Costello?
Life without Joe Costello is it's different. But Joey's a great player, and there's no way around. I'm not going to ever argue that. He brought a ton to the table, and we would not be where we are without Joe. Joe transferred in from UMBC and instantly showed kids how to prepare, how to work hard, and he had a great boisterous personality. He rose the level of play on our team, and so we will always miss him. But again, because of the talent we have on this team, there's not going to be a loss of production, in my opinion. It's now going to come from more people. And I know the thing is, what are the St. Thomas going to do without Joe? We're going to keep playing lacrosse, and we're going to keep putting up points. We're going to play great defense. I think what's going to be challenging for us, for other teams this year, is that they're going to have to defend a much more balanced offense, where there's strengths all over the place. So I think it's going to make us harder to defend now, because it can't just be shut down Joe, shut down Cooper Mazon, and then we got to figure out how to defend everybody else. It's now you're going to have to defend 5 or 6, sometimes 7 kids.
That's Coach Pete Moosberger from St. Thomas University. We come back, we'll summarize the first half. Again, your score, 9-2, St. Thomas over Missouri Baptist. You're watching MCLA, can't be MCAA, MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network. CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse. It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, score. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to St. Louis, everybody. Dan Matthews with Todd Walker, and our halftime score, St. Thomas 9, Missouri Baptist University 2. And Todd, Missouri Baptist really struggling here early. Andy Jolly in that locker room right now talking to his Spartans. What is he saying?
Well, not too much he can do here, Dan. He's really going to just tell his kids to, we're still. This is not a blowout. We're still in this game. We can score some goals and get it back close. He wants to nibble back a couple goals at a time. What he really has to do is get his defense to limit the Tommies' goals on the other end. He can nibble back on the offense, but he's got to shut the Tommies down.
Well, and he's got the goaltender to do that with in Blake Barnett, an experienced goaltender, has some NCAA experience, initially hired here to be be a coach.
Yeah, the problem is, and you, as good a goalie as Blake is, and as anybody can be, you know, if you're facing those 10, 11-yard shots with guys that can shoot as hard as the St. Thomas kids, it's going to be a long day in net.
Let's take a minute here from goalie Blake Barnett from Missouri Baptist University. Hi, we're here with Blake Barnett, goaltender from Missouri Baptist University. Blake, you were originally recruited to Missouri Baptist as a coach of the goaltenders, and here you are playing. How did that come about?
Well, I had a few friends from high school that were playing on the team, and I just mentioned to them that I still had a year eligibility left because I redshirted my junior year at my last college. So then I ran it by the coach, and he said, "Go ahead and play." So didn't have anything against it.
Blake, you're a local kid playing locally for Missouri Baptist. What's the high school lacrosse like here in St. Louis?
It's pretty tough. Usually there's like a few powerhouse teams that come back every year. They're usually competing for the championship, but it's growing here. It wasn't very big when I was in high school, and since then there's been multiple teams that have been added, and it's just getting bigger.
Blake, having originally been recruited here as an assistant coach, do you really assume a coaching role on the field, especially with the defender standing in front of you?
Well, a goalie's kind of a coach on the field when it comes down to it anyway, because you got to be telling everyone what to do when you're out there. So kind of just like a coach out there at the same time when I'm playing.
Missouri Baptist taking the field. Head's not down, and that's a good thing when you're talking about young kids in keeping their head up. And one thing I've always preached to the kids when dealing with any sport is, okay, you got outscored by 20 in the first half. That means it can be done. So go out and you do it this half.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so it doesn't really matter. If somebody can take a 7-goal lead into halftime, it's not an insurmountable deficit. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to build it in the first half.
That's right. You got to keep the thought in mind that if they did it to us, we can do it to them, and at all costs, you got to keep your kids playing. And I'm sure Andy has said, you know, look, let's settle down. Let's try and play our game here. Let's possess the ball. And that's really what's killed him in the first half. Dan is losing possessions too easy and throwing the ball away on careless passes, and that's really accounts for a lot of the difference in the score. If you don't have the ball and you're letting St. Thomas possess the ball for long periods, they're going to score on you eventually.
Both teams back on the field, ready for the second half of play. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll have the second half face-off right here on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Back in St. Louis, here on the campus of CBC High School at W. Michael Ross Stadium. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. We're ready for the second half. Broche at the X. I think that's Palermo.
Yeah, I believe that's
for
Palermo.
St. Thomas, and St. Thomas comes off with the second half face-off. Starting unit back on the field now for St. Thomas. Thanks so much for your tweets. I know we heard from Joe Harris not long ago, Todd.
John Harris, yeah. He's liking the broadcast, and I also wanted to point out, Dan, we've had a couple tweets from our Canadian watchers, and we love to hear from you up north of the border, and hope you folks are enjoying the lacrosse.
You too can join us on Twitter at LaxTV. LAXX TV is the handle. Again, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. The St. Thomas Tommies with a 9-goal lead. That was 16, Benjamin Lucius with the shot. Again, Lucius with the prettiest goal of the night last night. In the Tommies 9-8 overtime thriller against Davenport. Tune in after this one, folks. We should have another solid game with the Davenport Panthers taking on the North Dakota State Bison. A pretty solid matchup there this year.
Yeah, hoping the Bison kind of live up to their billing and what we're expecting out of them, and can put a nice game together for Davenport.
St. Thomas turns the ball over.
Oh my!
And so does MBU, and we're going the other direction. That's Carbonneau. Carbonneau can't get the hands free. Has the pass across the field, unable to field it on that far side. I think that was Altman. It rolls out of bounds. It'll be MBU ball.
Yeah, Carbonneau really kind of an unselfish play there, and I really kind of like what he did. He could have gone to the goal. He actually could have shot it into the goal when he initially picked up the ball. He had basically an open net, but rather than just go to the cooker, he kind of looked for his teammate, take an assist on that play rather than shooting the goal himself.
Just underway here in the second half.
Wow.
Another pass intercepted. Going in, Carbonneau's got the cut. Carbonneau can't field the pass. The Missouri Baptist picks up the ground ball and heads the other direction. That's Ian Broche.
And almost the exact same play, except this time it was Altman that intercepted the clearing pass up at midfield. He could have shot the ball into the goal, but went down to Burke, and Burke went across to Carbonneau, and Carbonneau unable to handle the pass.
No goals put on the board here in the last 9 minutes of play in St. Louis. 9-2 our score. The Tommies on top of the Spartans. That's Broche up top. He's got a much bigger man on him. That's James Mackey. 5'11", 175 pounds to Broche's 5'7", $180. Broche a little bit thicker, but definitively shorter.
Yeah, there might be some media guide heights and weights in there too, Dan. I think he's got more than the inches that would indicate on him.
I want to give a quick shout out to my family back home watching us on Lax TV. Matt, Hannah, Stacy, and Ken. Matt, happy belated birthday, buddy. Our score here, 9-2 Tommies. We've got an offsides call. It'll remain MBU ball. Looks like we have another change in goal for St. Thomas. It could be mistaken.
I think that's still Bang.
Is that Bang?
I believe it is, yeah.
Maybe the jersey's hanging out more, making him look a little bit bigger. But it is Bang in goal still. Bang only 5'5", 155 pounds.
He is not a big dude, but he's quick.
This does not have to be a big man's game. If you've got the skill, get out there and play the game. Good stick checks. Defensively for St. Thomas. Missouri Baptist takes timeout with just under 11 left to go here in the third. It's 9-2 St. Thomas. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV. Back in St. Louis, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. Make sure you tune in at the end of the game for our Bam Shaft Player of the Game. Bam Shaft, the original bamboo lacrosse shaft. Inside Lacrosse is a presenting sponsor of Lax TV. Inside Lacrosse, the source for the sport. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. Missouri Baptist trailing by 7. Ball being worked up top by Nick Fensom. It was Fensom who got the first goal of the game for the Spartans. We've got laundry on the field. Spartans will maintain the ball, and Tommies will put somebody in the box.
Yeah, kind of a late flag on what I think probably was a slash, but Kevin Gauss a little bit disgruntled. The flag came about 4 seconds after what the official saw as a slash. So either way, he's going to spend a minute in the box, and we'll see if Mobap can get their EMO to bring him back closer.
Coach Moosberger really loves Kevin Gauss and says that, at least in his opinion, has the best stick handling skills for defensemen in the MCLA.
Really good group of defensemen. They're all very mobile and all have very good sticks, and been very impressed with the Tommies D.
And they're running pretty deep there on the defense tonight. They've got Ryan Doyle in at defense with Jesse Amar. And the other long pole, John Hasbargen. He's a D midi. There's a shot from the top and a save by goalie Stephen Bang. That shot came off the cross of Brandon Horschig. And that's the first time I remember calling Horschig's name on a shot today.
Yeah, that's the first shot he's taken, and it was not a spectacular one. He was about 16 yards out and took a shot that did not bounce, and Bang made the save down around his ankles. But that's too easy and not what you're looking for on your extra man.
We've rattled off almost 12 and a half minutes on the clock without a goal. The last one scored by Carbonneau at 7:22 of the second quarter. Yeah, and if you've noticed, Todd, we've also seen a decrease in Tommy's shots as well.
Yeah, I think Coach Moosberger's probably told him to work the ball around a little bit and just go for any real good shots that they get, and probably no need to keep Pepper in the goal.
Hersman feeds the ball up top to Kuhn. Kuhn shot save by Barnett.
And we've got a flag.
There's a Hersman shot. That ball sails high and wide. There's our timeout with the score 9-2 in favor of the Tommies. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network.
9-2 in favor of the Tommies. I'm Dan Matthews with Todd Walker. If you think you've heard us before, we host a talk show dedicated to the sport of lacrosse every Sunday night. That's Lacrosse Talk, North America's first and most comprehensive show dedicated to the sport of lacrosse. Again, you can catch us on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time at lacrossetalkradio.com. Make sure you tune in this week as we're going to be airing a best of the Crooked Arrow segment on our show, as we will be either still here in St. Louis or traveling back home.
And just before the timeout there, Dan, Missouri Baptist was called for a slash behind the cage, so the Tommies will be extra man for a minute.
Tommy's working the ball around. Lipala on the near side, shoots, nice save, Burke. Burke deflected that one high over the cage. Keeping Mobap within 7. There's a shot, another save, Burke. Feed outside, that one deflected away from Lipala. There's a battle for the ground ball, and it rolls out of bounds. Ref gives it to who? St. Thomas. Barnett doing an outstanding job between the pipes.
Oh boy.
Uh-oh. That's Barnett again. Blake Barnett on fire. We'll continue to hunt down that interview and see what Blake had to say about captaining that defense. Barnett injured his junior year at St. Leo's. Discovered upon interviewing for a coaching position here at Missouri Baptist that he still had a year of eligibility. Might as well put him on the field. Let him coach from there.
That's a nice surprise to have for Coach Jolly, and you got a grizzled veteran between the pipes, and you got the opportunity to use him. Why not?
If you're a young goalie out there, pay particular attention to Barnett and the way he changes the angles on shots. He's very fundamentally sound in that aspect of his game and in positioning. Nice feed out front. Ball gets away. Rolls out of bounds. It'll be Mobat ball. We are well over a quarter's worth of action on the field without a goal, folks. 9-2 our score. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you from St. Louis. MCLA Division II action between St. Thomas and Missouri Baptist. Missouri Baptist will be back in action on Monday against Davenport. Andy Jolly pulling no punches with the schedule for his team this season.
No, it didn't get a lot easier on Monday. Davenport, as evidenced by their 9-8 overtime loss to St. Thomas last night, not going to be a lot softer than what they're getting right now.
There's a shot by Horschig, sails wide. That's the first real good look Horschig's had all day.
Yeah, that play was there earlier, Dan, but Horschig sort of left Broche out to dry, and he didn't make that little cut across the middle. That time he did, and got the good shot.
Spartans moving the ball around. That's Fensom up top. Left-hand shot. Gets through, but it's stopped by a goaltender, Stephen Bang. We've got a whistle.
I believe what the official called on that was a 4-second count on the goalie in the crease, which you see very rarely anymore. The goalies are pretty good at having an internal clock and getting out of there before the 4-second count, but he got caught on that one.
It's like his feet were nailed in the crease. Zimmer sets from up top. Looks to penetrate. He's cut off by Amar. Feed inside, gets away, out of bounds. It'll be St. Thomas ball.
Well, I really thought that hit a St. Thomas stick on its way through there, Dan, but the officials either didn't see it or I missed it.
You wouldn't miss anything. Amar, the long pole, has numbers. Feed up top. Shot. Save. Barnett with the kick save. On the big shot by Altman from the right wing.
Yeah, it was a great shot by Altman. He just barely missed that bottom right corner.
Tommy setting the offense, getting a little bit more aggressive here late in the third. 1:05 to play in the third quarter. 9-2 our score in favor of St. Thomas.
Moving pick.
You must be standing on the right side of our press box location, because I didn't see it. I've got a brick wall in my way.
Yeah, David Burke set a pick for Carbonneau coming across and did not have his feet set and made contact with the defender coming across.
The interesting thing right now, Todd, is in spite of the absence of scoring in the last 15-plus minutes, if we can get a Missouri Baptist goal, we'll keep our scoring trends intact. There's the pass. Unable to control the pass was Heron coming in from the top. Heron from right here at CBC from Missouri Baptist. Bang initiates the clear for St. Thomas. That pass gets away. It's backed up well by David Burke. Tommies will set the offense. Beeson starting it here on the near side wing. He gives it to Lucius.
Our mystery man from last night.
One of two mystery men. Three mystery men, actually, from last night. Ryan Doyle, who we were told wears number 50, actually wears number 12. He's been spending a fair amount of time on the defensive end for St. Thomas today. Missouri Baptist heading the other way. Cleared the defensive zone. Into the box. That's Fensom. He's going to pull it back out and give it up. I think that's Zimmer. Zimmer couldn't maintain his footing. Maintains possession of the ball, gets up. Shot just big off the pipe. Mobat. Deflection by goaltender Stephen Bang on that shot. Missouri Baptist putting on a little bit of heat here late in the third. Yeah, most aggressive we've seen them all day.
Real nice job by Bang, though, hanging tough in the goal.
That's Zimmer up top. He's going to dodge the right wing. Kick it back out to Horschig. Horschig takes it in, and he's just absolutely leveled by Amar, trying to take it into the crease. Amar would have none of that.
No, Horschig's a big kid, but Jesse Amar's no midget himself, and Horschig was pretty much head down going to the goal and left himself wide open for that shoulder check.
I believe that's Cole Pitts down in behind the cage with the ball. Left-hand cradle coming around the far side. Bad angle shot. Deflected by goaltender Barnett.
Nice hustle.
And out of bounds. Barnett chases down that shot and deflection, giving his squad possession of the ball.
Yeah, Missouri Baptist, Dan, really is playing with a lot more energy than they did in the first half. They're getting to more of these loose balls, and that was a nice hustle play by Barnett to get closer to the end line on the shot.
MBU and St. Thomas have played to a scoreless tie here in the last quarter and a half.
St. Thomas with possession. We're inside of 40 seconds to go here in St. Louis in the third quarter of this one between 16th ranked Missouri Baptist and number 2 St. Thomas. Tommy's worked the ball around. Far side, that's Palermo. His shot doesn't get through. It's actually scooped up by Clayton Mullenbeck. Missouri Baptist with 8 seconds. They pull it out with 5, 3, 1. That's it for the third period of play. 9-2 our score at the end of 3. St. Thomas with a 7-goal lead. You're watching MCLA Division II Lacrosse right here on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new...
CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse. It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores. Fires, scores. What a beautiful pass. Charges in, scores.
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7, only on CBS Sports Network.
Back in St. Louis, nice breeze coming across the field from, I think that's south to north. And St. Thomas University with a 7-goal edge as we enter the fourth period of play. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you on Lax TV. Tune in a little over an hour from now when we will have our next contest between North Dakota State and Davenport. The Bison and the Panthers. Should be a really good matchup here at W. Michael Ross Stadium. Davenport out to show that they're going to hang with any team in the country and maybe rather ticked off after last night. Good solid play. Called the push. I'm not sure about that.
No, that in no way was a push. He got a good check on the guy from in front, below his neck and above his knees, and from the front. That's a perfectly legal body check, and that one the Zebras missed. Nice save.
What a great save by Barnett. I believe that was Fitzgerald.
That was Carbonell.
Was that Carbonell?
Carbonell on the shot had him dead to rights. And Barnett came up huge.
Yeah, that leadership that you get from somebody like Barnett in the cage is huge, and he's leading by example out there too.
Yeah,
you know, if he gives up, the rest of the squad gives up.
Yeah, that might be a candidate for play of the game, even in a losing cause.
St. Thomas with the ball behind the cage, working the offense. That's Kuhn. Marked up very well defensively by Horschig. Ball gets inside, shot, another save.
We'll go the other direction. Barnett coming up big here in the second half for his squad.
Yeah, in the second half, and at least here, Dan, he's really kind of keeping his team in it. They're not doing it on the offensive end, but Tommy certainly aren't putting anything past him.
No scoring in the third period. As a matter of fact, no scoring since 7:22 of the second. So we're a quarter and a half, bordering on a quarter and 3/4 without anything being put between the pipes by either squad. If Andy Jolly had this effort in the first half from his squad, we'd have a whale of a game on our hands.
Yeah, yes, we would have. There's a careless penalty by David Chapala, though. Tommy's player had picked up the loose ball on the end line, and he just shoved him in the middle of the back out of bounds. And one thing you certainly don't want to do with St. Thomas is give them any extra man opportunities. They're doing just fine, even up, and they don't need the extra help.
Tommies are going to start with the ball in the offensive zone. Palermo up top right now, leading candidate for our player of the game. We would select a defender, but defense is definitively a team effort down there, deep on the crease, and we'd hate to single out any one in particular.
They played a great as a unit, though. They played a great game.
And maybe we select the whole unit.
Well, we might have to think about that.
But then you've got subs. So kind of one of those dilemmas. MBU still with a chance to keep our scoring trends intact.
And they just got away with one. David Burke did actually step offside on that clear, and actually the official was looking right at him, but elected not to throw the flag.
Head coach Andy Jolly wants a timeout so he can talk things over with his Missouri Baptist Spartans. 9-2 your score. Tommy's on top. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
It's a game of hits, swagger, precision,
to keep their hopes alive here.
and grit.
With a flag.
Lacrosse, spring's toughest sport.
Whistler shot, he scores! Fires, score! What a beautiful pass! Charges in, scores!
Don't miss Lehigh take on Navy. Friday at 7. Only on CBS Sports Network.
Welcome back to St. Louis, folks. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker here with you. 11:45 to go here in the fourth frame. 9-2 your score. St. Thomas with the lead. Again, hate to beat a dead horse, but again, we haven't had a goal scored in this one since midway through the second period. Solid defensive efforts on both sides of the field. MBU headed up by goaltender Blake Barnett, and St. Thomas headed up by that entire defensive line down low. Here comes Mackey. On the clear for St. Thomas, feed all the way across. Near side to Burke. Burke's gonna wrap the cage from behind, gets it out front to Carbonneau. Nice kick save by Barnett. And he'll watch it roll out. Ooh, I thought it was going out of bounds. Instead, it's picked up defensively by Clayton Mollenbeck.
Yeah, I think Barnett got away with one there, Dan. I think he was standing out of bounds when he flipped the ball back in. So.
I think you're right. I thought the ball was out of bounds. Great positioning by the official on that far side. There's a goal. Scoring trend be damned. Peter Carbonneau will get the goal for St. Thomas, and it's 10-2 Tommies.
Yeah, nice hustle play by James Mackey coming up with the loose ball up top and moving it down and finding Carbonneau wide open on the crease. Yeah, the MBU defense just got caught flat-footed there, guarding the man up high. But if you got a choice between the guy 7 yards out and the guy 2 yards out, you better take the guy 2 yards out. Ouch. Twice.
We're going to see some laundry on the field there, folks.
Ouch and re-ouch.
Oh, my. We got word just a moment ago that number 12 is not Ryan Doyle. So we still have a mystery man for St. Thomas. First, we don't have a number 12. Then we have a roster that says number 12 is Doyle. If we can identify who it is, we'll let you know. But that whole defensive squad has done a tremendous job for the Tommies today.
Yeah, we've got a cross-check call to the head, which this year is a 2-minute non-releasable penalty. The officials have been told to really watch for any kind of blow to the head, whether it's with a cross or another player's helmet or a fist, and the newly added penalty to the officials' arsenal is the 2-minute non-releasable for any contact at all to the head. There's a real emphasis on preventing and watching out for concussions.
So we've discovered that number 12 has been Vasco, number 20 on the roster. we appreciate the help from the St. Thomas contingent that helps keep us straight up here in the booth.
Oh, my goodness.
That will come in handy in the event that we're doing games tomorrow.
Great shot.
There's a shot and a goal. That one came.
That's the
long pole.
The aforementioned Kevin Gauss.
Good job by Gauss. And the Tommies open up an 11-2 lead.
Yeah, Mobap almost got a cheapie there. I think it was Barnett made the long clearing pass that was almost completed to Justvig, but picked off by Gauss, who went the length of the field. Nice fake pass across the middle, which actually fooled Blake Barnett. He was, if you saw him kind of moving to his right there, actually when Gauss took the shot, he was expecting that pass to go across, and Gauss crossed him up with the fake.
Palermo wins the draw and the face-off. It's actually scooped up by Sam Posel. And here come the Tommies with an 11-2 lead, 9 minutes and 12 seconds left to go in the fourth frame. I would say final, but I never say final until it's over. As we saw last night, goals can come fast and furious in this sport. Blake Barnett scoops up the ground ball for MBU. That's now 5 consecutive for St. Thomas. Have to go all the way back to the 1:23 mark of the second quarter for the last Missouri Baptist goal. And when you're silent for 2+ quarters, you don't win games.
It's not a very common occurrence, that's for sure. And Dan, kudos to our Twitter feed again. We got a tweet identifying number 12 is actually number 20, Ben Vasco, a transfer from your alma mater, Arizona State.
That's right. Give them hell, Devils. Speaking of my alma mater, their Division I MCLA squad takes on Chapman a little bit later on this afternoon.
Yes, they do. That's a big game for both those squads.
Arizona State kind of in the midst of an identity crisis up at the D1 level, as are the University of Colorado Buffaloes. I noticed they lost yesterday to Clemson at home in Boulder.
Yeah, ASU has really undergone a shocking transformation, if you will. They've gone from a run and gun, score a bunch of goals type team to a shutdown defensive team that really has trouble scoring goals. So what they're trying to do is beat everybody with defense and hope they can score just enough to come out on top.
Well, you have to remember they lost two of their big guns this year in Westfall and Nelson, midfielder and attack, respectively, and just a brutal transition for Arizona State to undertake. They still have Dylan Westfall between the pipes, and as long as they've got him, they can remain solid and in contention. We're under 9 minutes, actually under 8 minutes to play. 11-2, St. Thomas leads this one. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Harris makes 2-3 moves, scores! Here come the Ducks. San Jose finds the back of the net. Bryant inside to Yealy. This is going to be a goal for Yealy.
Bojano into the middle to cross. Bounce. Score! Sean Beer sends it up top. Left-handed shot by Vasilevsky. Back in St. Louis, the Bison of North Dakota State descending the stairs in front of us to take the field for the next game. That one will start an hour after the completion of this one. In the interim, here we've got St. Thomas 11 and Missouri Baptist 2. Just under 7 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you from St. Louis, Missouri at the St. Louis Invitational. Created by Missouri Baptist head coach Andy Jolly. Feed inside for Fitzgerald. Doesn't find the head of the cross. And it's picked up by Barnett. And he starts the break the other way. That one deflected out of bounds on the cross field pass attempt by Ryan Albright. If you check out the bottom of your screen, you'll see the scores from games that have taken place between Wednesday and today in the MCLA. Here the score is 11-2. The Tommies on top of Missouri Baptist. We were saying that Andy Jolly, head coach of Missouri Baptist, created this tournament, and we spoke with him yesterday on air, and he's really done a good job despite facing some difficult challenges, losing fields and things changing last minute, and being able to recover and keep things on pace and running a successful invitational.
Yeah, and we had kind of an unfortunate penalty here, Dan. Michael Fitzgerald on the crease after that last shot for the Tommies. A little bit frustrated, maybe. Kind of short-sticked his defender in the head, and he's got a 2-minute unreleasable penalty again for another shot to the head.
That feed inside, picked off. Again, that defense coming up big. That's Kevin Gauss.
Picked off the pass. Defense clears it. Jesse Amar gets the ball to Colpitts. Colpitts, a sophomore from Lakeville North High School in Minnesota. Right now, the Tommies playing a little 4-on-6 action in the offensive zone. Penetration. What a great shot that was
Clanked it
by
off the
Lucius,
pipe.
and he clunks it off the far pipe. Tommies will reset the offense on the far wing. That's Colpitts. He drops the ball out of bounds. It'll belong to MBU. Good work by Missouri Baptist in these last 2.5 quarters, really.
Yeah, they've obviously not stopped playing, Dan, and you hate to see your kids give up when they're in a losing game, and it's not like they're getting blown off the field. They're down 9, which is they're not coming back from this, but they're still in the game, which you won't like to see.
Head's still in it. Good ball move. Just as I say, good ball movement, they throw it away. We'll go the other direction with just under 5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. Again, Dan Matthews and Todd Walker with you here from St. Louis, Missouri in the St. Louis Invitational. St. Thomas on the restart. That's Vasco. Nice to know who he is now. We'll be sure to stay on top of it for tomorrow's contest. Colpitts on the far side. Runs through the box. Brings the ball back out up top. He's got Altman on the far wing. Comes near side to Chipala. Ball down. Missouri Baptist gains possession. Coming near side for Missouri Baptist is Austin Floyd. He pulls it out. Will settle on the wing. 20 yards from the cage. He'll circle it behind the cage. And give it to Justvig. Justvig's going to go one-on-one. Feeds it to Horschig. Horschig scores! MBU finally breaks the scoreless run.
Yeah, that's what we were a little more like what we were expecting to see out of Horschig and the other MBU attack today, and again, not giving up. They're gonna keep trying to score goals up to the end of the game.
That's more what we're accustomed to seeing from Horschig for sure. A hard rocket, actually from high to low.
He does
got a hold on the face-off, and it'll belong to MBU.
Yeah, Horschig's got a good hard shot, but the Tommies have done a spectacular job of staying on him and preventing him from getting his shot off from up top.
Austin Floyd sets the offense for Missouri Baptist. He gets it over to Zach Rosfeld. Rosfeld, a freshman from Rockwood Summit, right here in St. Louis, Missouri. you'll find that most of these teams really draw heavily from their local high school programs. In our upcoming game, you're going to find that that's not so much the case with North Dakota State. And we talked with one of their players about that concept, and we'll let you hear what he has to say during that game. But that North Dakota State pulls about 95% of their roster actually from Minnesota.
Yeah, they've basically they have one kid from North Dakota and one kid from Wisconsin on the roster. The rest of the team is from Minnesota, so a little bit different situation with the Bison.
Justin Mueller's shot sails high, way over the cage from point-blank range, deflected by that St. Thomas defense. Just over 2 to go here in the fourth and final frame. 11-3 our score in favor of the St. Thomas University Tommies. My cohort Todd Walker will be making his way down to the field here momentarily, and he'll speak with winning coach Pete Moosberger, along with our player of the game, Joe Palermo, for the St. Thomas Tommies. MBU with possession. Ball in David Justvig's stick behind the cage. He gets a nice screen, comes around that screen, gets his hands free and scores. So that's one from Justvig.
Yeah, nice job by Justvig. He just again another speed dodge around the crease, no slide, coming from up top by the Tommies D, and Justvig puts it right over the top of the goalie's stick.
The skies are darkening here in St. Louis. We are expecting thunderstorms this afternoon, and maybe even anticipating some weather delays out of our afternoon and evening games. 11-4 your score. St. Thomas on top of Missouri Baptist. We've got a timeout on the field for St. Thomas. We'll take a quick break and come back for the conclusion of this one right after this. Those are the skies over St. Louis, Missouri right now, folks. Definitely darkening up and getting intimidating are the skies here in St. Louis. A big cell getting ready to head right over the top of us before too long here at W. Michael Ross Stadium on the campus of Christian Brothers College High School. That's a mouthful. Our Todd Walker making his way down to the sidelines for our post-game interviews. Again, our player of the game, Joe Palermo. And our play of the game will come courtesy of Blake Barnett. Barnett, in a losing effort, had a huge save early on in the third quarter to really at least keep the hopes up for the Missouri Baptist University. There's another big save by Barnett as we speak. Came out of his cage but got back in time for the shot, made the stop. Starts the ball in transition. That's Mullenbeck. Mullenbeck's going to crank one. He shoots. That ball sails wide.
Good try.
11-4, nice effort by Clay Mullenbeck on the clear and the shot. Game remains 11-4, under a minute to play. That's Austin Floyd near side. Left-hand cradle, he's gonna dodge the left alley. He's got his hands free, can't turn the shot. He gets it over to Horshig. Horshig shoots and bounces it over the top. Still 11-4. 33 seconds and counting here in St. Louis in the first of our triple header here on Lax TV. Our next game, North Dakota State and Davenport. That'll be followed by Northern Colorado and Kennesaw. That one at 5 p.m. local time, 6 on the East Coast, 3 on the left coast. This one's going to end just in time, folks. I did see a flash of lightning over the Mormon Temple. Timeout, St. Thomas. With 10 seconds left to go in this one, it's 11-4 Tommies. Let's take a break. You're watching MCLA Lacrosse on Lax TV.
Players change teams, teams change cities, and television revenue has changed the face of sports. Change happens, that's life. As a fan, you can either take a seat at the end of the bench and trip, or strap on a jock and keep the chains moving. Buy a new jersey, throw a new poster on the wall, adapt, adjust, acclimate. It's what separates winners from whiners. You hear me, clones?
Sports, news, smack, Rome. Weeknights at 6 starting Tuesday, April 3rd. Only on CBS Sports Network. CBS Sports Network has the greatest lacrosse players in the world. The stars of the indoor game in the NLL. And the best field lacrosse athletes in the MLL.
The long wind-up and shot from a long pole barrel, and he scores.
The NLL premieres April 7th. And the MLL coming in June. CBS Sports Network, the new home of professional lacrosse.
Welcome back to the final 10 seconds of the first game of our triple header. The St. Thomas Tommies with an 11-4 lead.
CBS Sports
10
Network.
seconds left. We're going to just wind the clock down on this one from W. Michael Ross Stadium on the campus of CBC High School. Feet inside. Tommies wind the clock. This one's over. Tommies win their second in this St. Louis Invitational. An 11-4 victory over the Missouri Baptist University Spartans. When we come back, Todd Walker will be down on the field with our winning coach, Pete Mersberger, as well as our player of the game, Joe Palermo. Again, our final score, 11-4, St. Thomas over Missouri Baptist.